Let's look at an Amazon merch shirt to see the print quality. This is a men's extra large, and I think it looks really pretty good. I think the only issue here is that in the design, all these white parts were actually pure white. And when it printed, you can't really see it on the video, but in real life, it's a very light pink on all of the white areas. And Amazon does mention this on their print FAQ stuff. They say, be careful if the color of the shirt and the design are too close together, like a dark yellow and a light yellow might get all like hard to see. I didn't really know what they meant, and I think that's what they mean. So when I designed this, it looks white on the video, but it's not. It's definitely not. Like, this is a very light pink. Let me see if I can. You probably can't tell, but that's a very light pink. Let me hold up something white next to it. Okay, this little book is white. You see how that's a light pink? So keep that in mind for your designs. Now, I'm not an Amazon expert. I actually just started doing this like the other day because I love art and making things, and somehow I came across it and then like figured out how to put my art into graphic design programs, which I'm definitely not an expert. So this is a men's extra large, so let me put this on. Now the quality of the shirt, I would say, is a pretty normal t-shirt. It is not thin, it is not like, I'd say it's decently thick. It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. Softness wise, I wouldn't say it's like the softest shirt that I have ever worn. It has like that very typical t-shirt feel to it. This is a men's extra large. I wanted it to be huge because that's like the style right now. It's cute. I'm going to show you how big it is. Yes, I'm wearing shorts, okay, just so you know. But I wanted it to almost be like a dress with like leggings or whatever. And that is a men's extra large. It also has women's sizes, but I'm 5'6", and this is the men's extra large. And of course, everyone has different like measurements, but that kind of gives you a sense of how big it is. I think it's perfect for what I wanted, which was like an oversized thing. Okay, so I just wanted to give you some more idea of the print quality. I think it's really good, but like I said, the only issue is if you have a design on a colored shirt and your design is white, then it's going to look a little bit pink. Let me pull up this design and show you how I designed it so you can kind of see the difference. Okay. Oops. You can see like this is, well, it doesn't really show on the video, but this is definitely white in my design. And I think it looks a lot like that. So I just started doing these shirts, and so I'm by no means an expert, but I'm trying to get some printed of like different types because you want to know that your design actually looks good on the shirt. Again, I'm not an expert, but if you're new to it like I am, like there's just so much to learn. I thought I'd kind of tell you some tips from what I've seen. And another tip is that for some reason, I don't know why this was, when I would upload a design on my end, it would look like totally fine. Like it would look like this on my end, right? Like just normal. And then when I would see it on the Amazon site, it would have like smears or little dots or just kind of errors in there. And somehow it didn't show up on my end, but it did on their end. So I had to go into my file and erase things that I couldn't see. And then when I uploaded it, it went away and it was fine. So that's something to keep in mind when they do approve your design. Like zoom in and double check that it does look okay, because sometimes there was just like one tiny little dot, and that would obviously look really bad if you had like the finished shirt and it just had a random dot there, unless that's like part of your design. So yeah, I think this is super cute. This is the men's extra large. Um, I'm saying that because I was trying to watch these videos when I was deciding what size to get, and it's like I couldn't really see what the sizes look like. So for a men's extra large, it's kind of small in my opinion. Maybe I'm bigger than I think, but I'm like 5'6". I don't think I'm a huge person, and you know that doesn't look gigantic on me. I think this would look cute with leggings. Let me show you again. I was because oversized is like really in right now, So with like some leggings or some jeggings, which are jean leggings, I think this would be super cute. I was thinking of maybe belting it, but actually I kind of like it baggy with like a jean jacket. How cute would that be? Okay, and it says Heartbreaker. So another thing on like the fonts, there's a lot of debate. Can you use fonts or not? And it's very much debated. So you have to make your own decision on all these things. I'm just telling you my own opinion. And, get a lawyer if you're unsure. But from what I've seen, it's safer just to make your own. But supposedly the artwork of a font is not protected, but the software code that tells the font what to do, like the software code that tells the letters how close to be or how far to be, that is protected, and you can't like give your friend Times New Roman. Merry Christmas, here's Times New Roman. Like that would be illegal to even give it to your friend, depending on the license for that font. But the artwork part supposedly is protected, but it seems like a lot of not protected, meaning you should be able to use it as an art file that doesn't have the software code attached to that art file. I mean, I could be wrong, so like ask your lawyer if you have a like copyright lawyer, which like I don't, but maybe some of you have them on speed dial. Ask them. But so for this shirt, I actually made this myself. I just drew the heart. It says Heartbreaker because I thought that was cute. I just drew the letters for Heartbreaker, and then I made it double. And that way I felt like, okay, even if I'm wrong and copyright is not safe to use, like a Times New Roman, if I'm wrong about that, I won't get sued. So just in case, that's what I did. Yeah, so anyway, I think the shirt is good. You can kind of see, sorry, my hair is everywhere. You can see the thickness, right? So it's not like super thick or super thin. It's kind of what you would expect a normal t-shirt to be. Like it's not like the softest, most luxurious thing I've ever had. Definitely not. But then again, those really soft t-shirts that are often upscale, oftentimes the material is very, very thin on that, and it doesn't always last. I'm trying to see if I can. Yeah, you can see like not much light is going through that, right? Like when I put my finger there. So it's not one of those super thin kinds. So yeah, I just started doing this merch thing. I feel like I was really late to the game because when people would talk about merch, I thought it was slang. And I'm like, why don't they just say merchandise? Because YouTubers would talk about their merchandise as merch. And I'm like, why do they all call it merch? Like, are they trying to be cool or something? But that's actually what it's called. That's actually what the Amazon platform is called. It's called Amazon merch. And you can put your art on there. So anyway, I started doing that recently. That is this shirt. And then I made some other shirts too, which I'll show you. I'll put links to all my shirts in case you want any, because I just started. I've like sold nothing. My mom bought one also to kind of help me test the color. So I have Ghost Hug that I really like the pink just for me. Like if I buy it, I want it to be in pink, but then I have it in black for Ghost Hug. And this is another one that I drew. I drew the font. It's not really a font. I just drew the letters, and I just drew everything. So that's another thing with Amazon merch, is that you need to be very careful to not steal other people's stuff, whether it is artwork or text or whatever. You can't steal someone else's artwork. So be aware of that. Like, you couldn't just take my ghost and copy and paste it onto your own shirt, or else I could sue you and be like, that's my ghost, okay? So you want to be careful with that. And you can make all your shirts in all these different colors. Just because I felt like if I get a Halloween shirt, I kind of want to wear it all year. So there's like orange, which you probably wouldn't wear all year, but you might wear yellow. Because a ghost hug, you could wear that in a different month and it would still be kind of funny. Well, I think it's funny all the time. But another thing is when you're designing it, so you notice how around the letters I put black. And I did that on purpose because if I didn't put black around those letters, if I put this on a white shirt, it would disappear and you wouldn't be able to read ghost hug or the ghost. So I purposely outlined everything in black because that way I could put it on a black shirt and it shows up, or I could put it on a white shirt. I don't have a white shirt here, but you can see on the yellow that you can still read it. Then I made another one that is Be the Bright in the Night, simply because this year is so horrible. It's probably reversed. Yeah, it's reversed on the video, but it says Be the Bright in the Night, and it has like a sun. And I made two versions of that. One has like the yellow heart, which is a little more girly, and the other doesn't have a yellow heart, and it has like multicolor, kind of like Renaissance type colors. I thought that was kind of inspiring. It's like Be the Bright in the Night. It's kind of like be strong for other people, like shine so you kind of lead the way for others that are kind of lost in that darkness, because it is a very dark time, guys, and we need to help others out. So my original purpose for this was like, because I am a life coach in New York, yourdreamslifecoach.com is my website if you want rates. I wanted to make shirts that were inspiring for that, but then I was just kind of like, well, I just want to make a cute one for myself too, and then some Halloween ones because Halloween is fun. Let me see, I have a candy corn shirt also that I put a smiley face on a candy corn. So again, I drew the whole thing like from scratch, and he's just happy and smiley. And you put the design on whatever color you want, because I feel like candy corn is something else you can wear all year. So that's something else that people talk about is if you're designing a shirt just for a holiday, people will usually just buy it that little time. But if you're designing it all year, or if it's something you can wear all year, I know for me, some Halloween stuff is fine just for Halloween, but like this yellow candy corn or a white candy corn, I could totally wear that all year, and it is something that I would wear. I saw this guy one time with like a big candy corn tattoo like on his muscle, and he was like a buff guy, and it was funny and cute, but I was like, wow, candy corns, you really can wear that year round. So anyway, that's the candy corn shirt. Then I have ghost hug and the chandelier one, which is actually from a painting that I did, and then I kind of did the artwork over it on the computer, which I'm still trying to learn the graphic design stuff. Oh, I also have Under This Mask, I'm a Vampire, because, you're probably going to be wearing a mask from now till whenever they decide to not do that. So I drew all of this, I drew all of the teeth, and this was hard because I have like a cheap stylus to draw with, it's like $15, really cheap, but I was just in a rush when I did this one, and so I actually drew the teeth on the computer, using the mouse, which I'm happy that it worked out as well as it did, because the mouse is so it lurches, right? It's not smooth, so it kept lurching. But anyway, Under This Mask, I'm a Vampire, I feel like that's also something you could potentially wear all year, because if you wore it to the grocery store, it would be funny, because it'd be I don't know, I think that's funny. I would wear that in January or February and just be I'm a vampire under here, So anyway, those are some of the shirts that I made so far. Amazon does not let you make a ton of them at once, it only gives you limited slots until you sell them. So I have to figure out how to sell them next because it's very hard to sell them, is what I'm finding. Like, no one has bought any. So if you guys want to buy some of my shirts, feel free. I'll put links to them. Don't buy them out of pity, only if you would actually wear them or give them as a gift, which I actually would wear these, depending on the color, because some of them are kind of manly looking, like, depending on the color. I mean, I don't know, manly. Oh, it's a candy corn. I guess it's gender neutral. But that is my tips so far for Amazon merch. And again, I'll put links to my shirts below so that you can buy them if you want to. And now that I told you the like meat of my video, I'm gonna just tell you blah 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 stuff because I can't stand how many videos they don't get to like how does the shirt look, and you're like how does the shirt look, how does the shirt look, and you're just waiting and you're skipping ahead, and they put that like right at the end. Oh my gosh. And they're like, this is how my week has been, and I'm like, that's nice, just please talk about what the title of your video is. Can't stand that. So anyway, I try not to inflict that on other people and do my chatty stuff after you see what the shirt looks like, which looks like that. I'm actually cooking meat right now, talking, speaking of meat, which has me a little bit distracted. I'm like a dog, you know, when there's like food, but it's cooking on low, so it has a while to go. So I'm a life coach in New York, and like I said, my website is yourdreamslifecoach.com. So like I help people to reach their goals faster in the present moment, making their vision for the future, and then creating goals day by day, week by week. Little tiny actions. And so I like to do stuff like this, like learn new things myself, because not only is it good to just keep expanding and just do stuff you like, but it's also to remind me like it is hard to learn new stuff. So if you're learning Amazon merch, it's like, it's just, if you don't have a background in like design, if you're not a graphic designer, it takes some time to get your head around it and trying to figure out how to get your art onto the computer and on Amazon and with the right specs and the right RGB and all these things that I had heard of them, but I didn't exactly know what they were. So I'm by no means an expert, but it's that approach of like, I'm just going to learn like 5 minutes worth at a time and just, over time, little by little, learn and learn. That seems to be working well for that. And as a life coach, it just helps me like remember that this stuff is hard to learn, So, bite off little bites at a time, because there's always just this like huge amount of stuff that you're trying to learn when you learn something new. Because I've always done like artsy stuff, but I never have done stuff with like the computer. I mean, I feel like MS Paint was probably the main thing that I did. Like as a kid, I would use like MS Paint all the time, which I don't even know if that still exists. It probably doesn't. But nowadays, it's like there's so much technology that I don't even understand, but I just kind of did it the simplest way I could. Like I said, I made some things just using the computer and the mouse and trying to draw like that, which is not the best way to do it, obviously. And then I have this super cheap, like, where is it? I don't know where it is. I have this cheap, like, $15 stylus that it's definitely better than nothing, but it's still a little bit lurchy. So I have to, if I stick with this, I'll figure more out about it. But, for now, I'm just kind of dipping my toe in because it's just really fun. And I never had made life coaching shirts. Like years ago, I actually designed a couple life coaching shirts, but they were just so expensive to print that I didn't end up like making them for everybody, simply because they were really cute. I think I still have one. I actually used my unicorn painting for one of the shirts. You've probably seen. You probably haven't seen, but I have another video on like the story of why I like unicorns for the life coaching stuff, because it's sort of this idea of unrealistic dreams that are like unicorn dreams. That's That's one of my life coaching things. But again, I didn't print them just because it was like so much per shirt to print it. Whereas Amazon, I think the minimum is something like $13 or $13.50 right now. And I'm making this video on October 8th, 2020, by the way. And the prices do change on those things. I know I'm all over the place. I had some coffee, so I'm jumping topics. Sorry about that. But one other thing on the Amazon shirts is that copyright, as I said, is a big deal. And I actually just had a design rejected because I tried to use a famous quote. And even though the quote itself was not copyrighted, which I looked up, I think they're just a little hesitant to publish anything that is a quote from somebody. Which is interesting because I used to write for companies that would use quotes all the time on like their printed products, and like maybe they were doing it wrong. I don't know, but it seemed like it was fine. Most of the time, quotes or phrases like that aren't usually copyrighted, I thought, but I could be wrong. Regardless, they seem to be kind of like staying on the safe side, which like I respect that. So just FYI that you might run into that if you try to put quotes up there unless you have like permission or a license from the person who said that thing, which sometimes they will like sell you a license to be able to print that on products, and sometimes they won't. It's their own decision. So keep that in mind. That's just a side note. But anyway, yeah, my main thing is life coaching in NYC, which NYC is just absolutely crazy right now. It's like a lot better than it was, for sure. It has less of that zombie apocalypse flavor for the most part, but it's also certainly not what it was before. So fingers crossed that it can, come back from its fall. It's like the fall of Rome is what it's like. I hope it can come back and we can have a renaissance and have a nice time and have some more positive energy, because just on the streets, people are so, they just have this vibe of like, with their mask on. And so I feel like we're lacking some positive energy, which is why I made that shirt about try to be this light, be this bright light in the night for other people, basically, and for yourself too, right? Because you don't want to get so, yes, you want to get depressed sometimes because you just have to process your feelings, and sometimes you just have to be depressed for a while, but at some point, remind yourself that there is another way to see things too, and some things are just going to be depressing for a while, but other things you can be excited about and try new stuff, and that kind of helps. So I know this video is kind of all over the place, but so am I, so that makes sense because, I just do a lot of different things, and I encourage you to do a lot of different things too, because why not? If it's stuff you like, then do it. But that's the thing. If you don't like doing stuff like artsy stuff or shirts, then don't do it. Do something you like. Maybe go play golf or whatever it is that you do that I don't like, because I'm horrible at golf. I think that's all I have to say. So if you're interested in any of these shirt designs, link below. I'll put a link to my life coaching website. Also, I mostly help people that are doing something unconventional, whether they're an entrepreneur or a small business, or they're kind of charting that path that's new. That's more my style. I'm not like a career counselor where I'm going to tell you, okay, with your resume, you can only get these 3 jobs and read this book. Like, that's not what I do. I'm like, what do you want to do? What do you want to create? Let's make your vision, and then let's kind of get over those hurdles of like any self-doubt, which we all have, or negative thoughts, or just some laziness or some scatteredness, which everybody has a little bit of that too. And then you choose tasks every week, and then you do the tasks, you come back, you let me know how it went, what was good, what was bad, and then we kind of like tailor that plan for the next week, and we just kind of keep refining until you get closer and closer and closer to what you want. And I do business, career, relationships, dating, life purpose. You know, life coaching is a pretty broad the umbrella term for all the areas of life. So I'm not an expert. I don't give you advice. I'm not a consultant, which is why I don't specialize, because I'm not going to tell you how to do things. I'm going to ask you questions to help you figure out how you want to do it. So I'm not going to say, like, this is how you should make your business. I'm going to say, what kind of business do you want to make and how do you want to do it? And so that way it's all yours. Like, you know, you own everything you're doing. Sorry, the phone's ringing. Oh, it's so loud. Anyway, yourdreamslifecoach.com for rates. And if you fill out the box, let me know, just kind of like briefly, you know, I'm a blah, blah, blah. I live here. I'm trying to do this, you know, that kind of thing. And then I'll send you rates. Right now it's all over the phone or virtual. When NYC opens up like fully, if it ever does at this point, we can do in person. But right now it's like still, you know, a lot of restrictions on in-person stuff. And then I'll put my shirts down there that if you just think they're cute and you like would wear it or want to give it as a gift, go ahead and buy one. But if not, like I said, don't buy one just out of pity, because that's not the point of business. It's to buy stuff that you want to buy. But I think this is cute. And, you know, obviously these all come in lots of colors, lots of sizes. So this is men's extra large, but this goes up to, I think, men's 2XL, if not 3XL, depending on the shirt. And then all different colors and all of that. So, yeah, give me a like also if this was helpful, and share it if you know other people that are trying to figure merch out, because it is super confusing in the beginning. I'm by no means an expert, like I said, but I just thought I'd share like the little bit that I've learned so far, and also show you what the shirt looks like so you have some sense of what it's like. And yeah, and subscribe if you want to see more videos, many different topics. Most of mine are life coaching type videos, like achieving your goals. I also have some narcissism videos on dealing with difficult people, basically, or toxic people, and how toxic people think. And then I have just the occasional completely random video like this, or learning to speak Spanish, or whatever my random hobby at the moment is. So thanks for watching, guys. Someone is just calling and calling.